Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Trackster podcast, where we bring you all the news and excitement from athletics around the globe. I'm here today with my usual co-host, Rich, and we've got a special guest joining us today. And we've got Mr. Cameron Boyek with us. Hello, Cameron.
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So today we're going to chat through the British champs start lists and those who have declared. But a few headlines from me to kick us off. We've got Keely running the 400 metres. We've got no Josh Kerr, so that's quite unusual. And we're seeing the return of George Mills. And yeah, we'll chat more about what events he may be running and more about all of that info further. But I just want to kick off with, firstly, the women's 800 metres. We've got a few really exciting names in there. I'm going to list off a couple first. I suppose standouts for me are Izzy Boffey, Georgia Bell, potentially, if she runs the 8, and also Gemma Reekie. What are you thinking, guys?
Cameron, I'll tell you what, since you're new on the pod, mate, I'll let you go first with this one. I can see you're itching to get some words out there, so I'll let you go first, mate. Yeah, what are you thinking about this ladies 800? Because as Jonesy quite rightly said, listed off some absolutely massive names in the British middle distance scene. So yeah, Cam, what's jumping out at you? What's going through the mind?
Well, I think the first thing is that it's just trying to work out like who's actually going to do it, because you've got so many athletes in here who are top quality and have accepted both the 800 and the 1500 meter invites. So at the minute, it's kind of like, okay, well, maybe we should talk about them, but then also, are they going to even run, you know? So straight up standout names, you've got Gemma Reekie's accepted, but also accepted in the 1500. Up for question as to what event she should do. I think looking at the field, before I actually looked at the field properly, I straight away thought I think she should do the 1500, because I think what I've seen indoors over 1500, like she just destroyed the field. So if it's a slow race, was last year tactical, I think that she would benefit pretty early from doing the 1500 meters. I think she'll do the 8, but again, we don't know. You've got her in there. You've got Grace Van Zagnew in there, which I think who's in good form, 2-minute runner. Possibly could go under 2 minutes this year. Erin Wallace, another one who's accepted in both events. I think she'll do the 1500. I don't know if any of you have got any information on that. You've got, Shakira King running well as well. You've got obviously Georgia Hunter Bell, who, again, we don't know whether she's going to run the 8 or the 1500. I think she'll do the 800. I don't really know what you guys think.
I do as well, yeah.
Sarah Calvert's entered, but Jonesy, you already said that she was doing the 1500, so she's out of it. And obviously we've got Isabel Boffey. Another interesting name, I think, in my opinion, Lucy Armitage. I think she's in good form. I think she's strong. I think she's run 202 this year, 2-minute flat runner, coming back from injury. I think she's going to run well. I think she's strong as well. I think she's a strong runner. I think she as long as she gets through the heats, I think she'll be strong in the final, which again is another conversation to come on to. But what's interesting about the championships, with it specifically with the 8 and 1500, is the heats and finals, right? You can get through the heats, but it's like, how do you recover for the final? Like, have you trained for that? So I think that's probably another thing. So those are the kind of the standout names for me. I've seen Ellie Baker's on there, but she's not accepted her invite. So
no.
I'm actually quite surprised about that, because I feel like she was on a really good run of it, and she's come back so well from injury, and I think she's I think her performances post injury were wicked, given that she was out for so long, and she almost came straight out and ran. Was it 202?
And over 1500 as well. I think she's run 4 or 5.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's class running.
Yeah,
there's got to be something off there.
What do you mean?
Just maybe there's like an injury, or a niggle or an illness. I just think it's. I can't understand why she wouldn't be in the mix at the champs, given how well, like you have both said, how well she came back. That indoor season opened up really well, came on the outdoors, some good positive performances. Yet when it comes to British champs, hasn't accepted. The only reason may be that if she's just thought, well, I'm writing myself off for making the games this year, it's about focusing on racing, and I don't want to be racing in a championship environment. Maybe I find that odd approach, but that might be what the mindset is. I don't know, but something I don't know. It just doesn't add up, does it?
I think I spoke to her. Obviously, I was staying with her for a short period in Flagstaff, and I know that one of her main targets and main goals was the Commonwealth Games. So, I mean, I don't know if she's been selected or not because the team hasn't been announced yet. I haven't spoken
No.
to her. Maybe she's just focusing on that. That's
Okay.
probably another reason why
Yeah.
she may not have been accepted. Who knows? Maybe it's a typo as well. I don't know. Because again, I thought maybe the 15 she would be entered in that, but she's not entered in the 15 either. So I think it's her first season back, proper season back, and she's came back with a bang. And I think that maybe we're all speculating here, but maybe it's just that she wants to get through the season in one piece and really focus on the World Championships.
And that would be totally fair enough. And again, these start lists, they are fluctuating quite a bit as well. We've seen quite a bit of change on the start list that were announced yesterday versus what was on last week. So maybe that something comes of it later on. But as it stands, she's not down in the 800. Like we mentioned, Georgia Hunter-Bell, I think she probably will do the 800 at the weekend. I think she'll be teeing up just some some tactical style racing, whether she does the 800 at the Commonwealths and the 15 at the Euros, whatever she approaches championship wise, I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty confident that she'll do that 800 the weekend. And given that she's a 154.9 operator at her best, then a 157 season's best. And I think we'd all probably agree that one of Georgia's biggest strengths is not just physical attributes, it's actually a race IQ, because I think she is a phenomenal racer. She times it right, she makes the moves at the right points. So yeah, for me, she's the standout on paper time wise. And I'm going to dive in with a prediction early on into this, and I think if she races the 800, I think she's going to be our British champion on Saturday.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think, as we were chatting before the pod, I think the 800 is wide open. I think, apart from Georgia Bell being on that start list and deciding to run the 8, I just think I can't see a world where she doesn't absolutely run away with it, or at least, cover every move as well as she's always able to, and just run away with it towards the end. So yeah, I'm excited to see it all play out. I think there's a few names in there that are also brilliant at racing, i.e. Izzy Boffey. I think she's a great championship racer. I think she always gets it right, and she's always within those podium positions or thereabouts. Actually, also, though, while we're on the topic of sort of, potentially not declaring or deciding not to race, really interesting that Phoebe Gill hasn't accepted. And what the thought process or like mindset might be around that. Yeah, what do you guys think?
Well, I've seen her. She's definitely in good shape, and I've seen her race in Marseille last week, and she won there, and she looked. I mean, I'll be honest with you, like the wind was horrendous. Probably the biggest race that I've ever competed in. But she still ran 2 minutes from the front, and she went through the bell lap in about 56 seconds. I think it was 56 seconds low, and just looked easy. And I think after that, she was exposed quite highly to the wind, and then definitely dropped off in the last lap. But with that said, I think that, I mean, whether it's injury or not, I don't know. But again, speculation. I think that had she been in the race, I think that she would have been, definitely top 2. I don't think anyone's really beating Georgia Hunter-Bell, but she's obviously got a really good team around her. She's got, great management team around her, the likes of Ricky Sims, I think it is, isn't it? Who looks after her, who built, helped build Mo Farah and Usain Bolt's career. And then you've got, her coach, Deborah Steam, and, a few other people involved as well. Mark Rowland, I think, is involved with her setup now as well. So whether or not we see her this year or not, I don't know. But I think going forward, we're definitely going to see her again featuring heavily over the next few years if she stays in one piece.
Yeah, definitely. I think a great talent, and it's just good to see her back as well after injury struggles. So yeah, it is great to see her back. Jonesy and Cam, then we're talking about how wide open it is, barring Georgia Hunter-Bell, and I think we're all probably in agreement then that Georgia takes this one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to push you both then. given the athletes that we've mentioned there, what we're saying for our top three then. So if we're all going with Georgia Hunter Bell to take the top spot, Jonesy, give me your second and third place, and then Cam, you can follow on with yours.
I think, given that Phoebe's not racing, and I think Erin Wallace will do the 15, and I think if Gemma does the 15, I can't decide whether she'll do the 15 or the 8. I think it'll probably be Georgia, Izzy, and then I think Shakira King's in form. So I could see it being something like that, like a youngster Shakira being brave and bold from the start and sneaking onto that podium. Yeah, I think the 800's really wide open, but I think that's probably Shakira or Izzy, one and the same, second or third. That would be my pick.
Yeah, I think for me, I reckon it's going to be. I think Riki's going to do the 800. That's what I think would be a pretty sensible option, because I think that the 1500 is stacked. Okay, and I think the 800 is strong, but I think a lot of the big guns. There's a lot of people switching events. Keely's wants the 400. I think there's a top two there for Riki. I think that she will be leading coming into the home straight. I think George will probably be sat on her shoulder. George will kick past. I think Gemma will probably come second, and I think Boffy third. But I do think, to be honest with you, actually, I'm going to change it. I think Boffy will come second. I think Riki third. Boffy's ran 2 minutes this year in a DNF. I'm sure most people have probably seen the DNF where she got clipped and went down, and she was in a good position there and she looked good. So I think she's based on what we've seen indoors, she ran well, and I think that that 2 minute, I think it goes for a lot of the athletes that are competing this weekend. The champs are quite early, so I think people's season's bests don't necessarily correlate to maybe the form that they're in, because the champs are we're still over 4 weeks away from the Commonwealth Games, and then another couple of weeks after that before the Europeans. So yeah, I think that's my top three. I'm going to go Georgia Hunter Bell, I'm going to go Boffy, then Riki.
Nice.
Interesting. Jonesy, I'm with you. But I was also with you in the mindset that I thought Riki would probably do the 1500, but actually the more Cam's painted the picture for me, the more I'm starting to think she might actually do the 800. I'm thinking, well, is this, when we see athletes that are doubled up and accepted in both, it's, it's a case of, well, let's see where the stiffest of competition is really. And I think, if we're looking at things from Riki's perspective, maybe the 800 is the better option for an athlete of her ability, who's got that ability to interchange between 8 and 1500 quite easily. If provided Riki doesn't do it, then I would go Hunter Bell, Boffy, and I fancied Shakira King to nick a medal as well. If Riki's in there, I think, again, I'd probably err with what Cam said and go with that top three. I think she could maybe nudge King down a touch. But yeah, interesting stuff. And yeah, a cracker of a race to kick things off with. Should we stick with the ladies, do we think? Should we do the ladies first and then move on to the men? So we'll go over to our next middle distance event. One that I would imagine has caused used to as many headaches as it has me the past few days, trying to have a look over this and trying to pick winners out, trying to pick inform athletes. It's that ladies 1500 meters. And I've, as I do prepare for these pods, I've made a note and I've written so hard to call. 5 names I could make a case for to take the title. So I'm going to hand it over to you guys first, and Cam, I'll go to you. Give me a couple of names that what are you chuckling for, Cam? Did you want me to go Jonesy? Like, have you not read the start list or something?
No, I've read the start list. I've got them. I've actually got them on my screen, which is why I keep looking to the right hand side. What do you want? Top 5 or 5 names? How many?
Well, no, just not necessarily dive in with a prediction, but just give me a name. Give me some name, a name or 2 names that jump out to you. Let's take Georgia Hunter Bell out the equation, right?
Let's take Riki out there as well, and just assume she's in there, because I think if she's in there, she's in the top 5, in my opinion, right? I'm gonna say, obviously Laura Muir is in there, seasoned racer. She's always gonna put herself in the right positions. She's gonna be there or thereabouts. Katie Snowden, fine race the other night, 4 minutes dead. She's in form. She's just getting her season going now, so which is a good sign, because if you're opening up in around about 4 minutes at this time of the year, and you're also like coming close to the win, that's a good place to be. Some great athletes that she beat there actually as well. Reve Walcott-Nolan in great form. We'll come on to what I'd like to see from her. I'd like to see a little bit something slightly different from her this year, because I think she's got great potential if she changes her tactics up a little bit. I actually think she could challenge for the win personally if she does something slightly different. Obviously, I'm not a coach and I don't know the training she's done, but it's just my opinion of what I've seen racing. Erin Wallace, always in great form. Another one that I was interested in, Tia Wilson. I think she's in great form in the NCAA. She looks great. She ran 4:06 this year, but in a tactical race, I think she's kind of always going to be up there. I'll let Jonesy finish off because I think we're all going to say the next few names.
Yeah, I mean, I fully would agree with you. I'm going to say that Melissa's going to go with 5K. So we'll take her out of the equation.
Yeah, I agree.
Fully agree with you on Reve, Erin, obviously Katie in unbelievable form, and Laura. But just a couple of more names that I think could snag some surprising positions. Molly Hudson, I think she's got to be under a bonnet about wanting, like, having something to prove and being in unbelievable shape. Obviously, she's got Ben as a coach and he's given her a lot of confidence. And I think she'll go in with a lot of championship experience as a result of, that experience from Ben. So I think she's one to watch. She obviously got silver indoors. And then also, we kind of have to mention Sarah Calvert. Now, obviously, she's ran 4:08 this year, potentially not really near the 4 flat girls. But obviously we've seen as of last year that literally doesn't matter. So I think if the top sort of 4 or 5, Laura, Katie, Erin, are smart about it, they're going to run from the gun and make it really hard. But I think if that doesn't happen and it ends up being one of those burn-up situations, I think that's where the likes of Sarah and Molly get a sniff for those sort of like more minor medals. Might be some couple of upsets there. But I think, to be honest, if it's too deep of a 1500 to not run hard, surely. Like they're all going to be gunning for that top spot and ensuring those like automatic qualifications. So yeah, I don't see how it's not going to be a 4 flat 402 race. Do
you think?
Well, I just think like they'd be silly not to.
That's
They're
bold.
all 4 flat on paper. They need to run, surely.
I agree to a degree, and I think, this is the thing with the sport; it can go either way on the day, really. The only thing for me that would maybe that I wouldn't be surprised if it was slow and a burn up is that I think a lot of middle distance runners fancy their kick. The majority of them think that they can kick, and I think that there's a lot in this race. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, maybe 4 or 5 of the ones 4 of the ones we've mentioned. I'm taking Gemma Reekie out of that. I've already got the standard for the Euros. So then I think, they'll think, well, I'm not going to go at the front and lead this and let them sit on me and kick past me and miss out a top 2 place to guarantee a spot on the Euros, because we know Georgia's going to go at the Euros over that. So then will they think, let's just sit back because I know I can kick. I've run 4 minutes flat, so I should be quicker than these girls.
Yeah, but then I think, like, from my perspective, having watched it happen time and time and time again, would you not all make the decision between the 4 of you that you're going to drag it out? Like, I just think, obviously you're not going to openly be making that decision. But what I mean is, I just think, you just leaving the door open for that top spot or top 2 spots to be taken by those that maybe wouldn't necessarily. But then I suppose you are right. If they've got the standard, it doesn't matter as much to them, I suppose.
Yeah. I wonder as well, mindset-wise, like a lot of these should probably and will probably have the mindset that I'm going to go into this and I can win this. And I can probably win it from multiple angles.
Yeah, that's so true.
So I don't need to work with them to make this hard to drop the other people, because I'm going to beat them and I'm going to beat the other people in this race anyway. It's interesting because this is like the different side of the sport where we look at the times on the paper, but then actually it's, the tactics, because, a lot of these have got the ability to win that. And that's why it's such a tough race to call. It's who gets it. It's who nails it on the day. Cam, one thing I'm going to go back to you on,
Yeah.
Revere Walcott Nolan, you alluded to how you think that she could win this race at the weekend. What is it about Revere that sort of pricked your interest that she could do something different and beat everybody else?
Couple of things here. It's just we'll go back to what Jonesy was saying about the 1500 and how it's going to be like a hard from the gun sort of race. I think that to do that, if you're going to win it, okay, and you're going to run from the front and beat these girls who there is some world class athletes in here who you will be looking to make major finals. I think I seen it was a post back on Twitter /X a few years ago that I seen Nick Willis talking. He made a comment on a post asking about, I think it was to do with Jakob. And he basically said that if you want to win it from the front, you need to be in shape to be able to run in like a flat out race, like a time Diamond League style race or a BMC style race, like about 2 seconds quicker than everybody else, because of the amount of energy expenditure that you're going to use to be able to run away from them. And I think that's why, if you look at Jakob over the years, he's been able to do that because he's been streaks ahead of everyone.
Yeah.
I think now he's starting to struggle. There is more to it than that, but that is one of the reasons why I think he's struggling, because you've got the likes of Josh Kerr who are probably going to be going for 326 over the next year or two. I mean, probably this year, maybe. I'm sure you'll probably try and have a crack at it. The other thing as well is, and then going back to Reve, well, actually, let's stick on the second point I was going to make on what Jonesy was saying. That I think that could happen, and that's very much linked to what I was thinking with Reve. Okay, like I think for her to win it, I think it needs to be a 4 minutes 2 race. Reason for that is because, first of all, it's very much out in the open that the OTC guys, Europe guys, do a lot of threshold work, which means her lactate turn point is going to be significantly better than the majority of people in that final, assuming that she's in the final, which means that she can run at a higher speed at a lower lactate and therefore should technically feel a lot easier than the majority of the field going into the final 200 meters. So, and she's got a long stride. Even when she's starting to struggle in a race at the last one, even on the last 100 meters of race, she looks phenomenal. Like, she's got one of the most fluid running styles that I've ever seen. And like, I think that she's in good shape, and I think that I'm not saying she doesn't need to go out at 4 minute pace, but just making it tick over a little bit quicker, just so that people like, Sarah Calvert, for instance, isn't quite on the same level as someone like Reve or Katie Snowden for hitting the sort of 4 minute barrier right now. She will do, I'm sure, in the future at some point, whether that's this season or not, I don't know. But she's got a serious kick. And like, if that's a slow race, you're basically handing people like that potentially at least a podium place. And that's what happened last year. She's quick. So just trying to get it moving, wind it up, start putting a bit of lactate in the system for the other girls who aren't able to quite work like that, but you're also then feeling a lot easier than the majority of the field. But then also it comes back to what I said, she needs to be 2 seconds quicker to be able to win it than other girls. Is she or not? I don't know. You've also got the heats in there as well, which is a limiting factor. You've run the heats the day before. Can you then put that into, at this time of year when you're not aiming to peak for another 5-6 weeks, are you then able to back that up in the final? And then you've also got the conditions. Like last year in Birmingham, the back straight was windy both Saturday and Sunday. This year might be different because they've got the big stands being put in now. So like during the Commonwealth Games where they had the big stand, we've got that put in now from what I've seen on videos. So that might be able to block some of the wind. So maybe that'll play in the factor. But anyway, that's kind of what was going through my mind when I was thinking about her. And I think that that would be a hard ask to do. But I think that in terms of having a crack at it, I think it would be nice to see her do that. This is from a spectator's point of view, though, right? Like, this is not from. I'm not running the race, so it's like it is risky to do that.
I get exactly what you mean. That's sort of what, I was trying to say. I think, I fully agree. I'd never really considered that from the perspective of Reve and how she tends to approach races. But I think you're absolutely right. I feel like she is also one of those that winds up, like, really good at sitting in a Diamond League race when the pace is really hot and just like sitting in there and winding it up as the race goes on. So, it's exciting stuff.
You know what, though, Cam? I think one of the points you made with regards to Reve and a good wave playing out the race for her. Another athlete that might have a similar mindset to that, and I wonder, is what Laura Muir thinks of her closing speed these days. Because, you know, she's been around a long time now. And does she quite have the turn of speed, the kick that she had 3-4 years ago when she was picking up medals in the Olympics? You know, does she have that closing speed? Yes, she's still strong, and in a quick race, in a Diamond League race, she's still running 4 minutes. And we know she's strong by what she's done over 5K on the roads in Monaco. Does she have the closing speed? Might she want to get it moving? Then that might be this scenario where actually we do see this low 4-minute race. I think Muir would be more, she'd maybe take it on with maybe 700-ish to go and make it a real hard run from there, and probably put the boot in really hard to try and just break the field up and break a lot of hearts during it. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to play out all these different scenarios. But what I'm going to do then, give me a top three. I'll go to Cam first, since I went to you first, Jonesy, before. We'll go to Boyek first this time.
Yeah, oh my God, right, I'll go. I'm going to put... This is such a hard thing because it's so stacked. I think, honestly, if Riki was in this, I think I would be tempted to put her as top, as first. But I'm going to assume she's not in it. We're going to assume she's in the 800 for now, just to make it easier. Or maybe harder, I don't know. Do you want it in order as well? I'm going to put. And this might sound unorthodox to some people, but not for me. I think Snowden for the win. I think Erin Wallace second. I think she's running well, and I think she can close hard. And I think she's been there or thereabouts the last few years, and I think she's improved this year again. And I'm going to put Reve for third, because I feel like I just have a feeling it's going to be wound up like what you said, Morrell, about like 600 out. Muir's going to hit the front, maybe start winding it up, because I think she's obviously coached by Crammy now. They do a lot, from what I understand, do a lot of strength work through the winter, and I think she'll be strong. Did a good 5,000 recently. So that's, yeah. But I think coming up the home straight, I think they might power past her. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Jonesy?
Oh, I can't cope. I'm going back and forth through the names. It literally could be any of them. I am going to back my teammate, clubmate, Katie. I think she's come down from 4:10 to 4 minutes. I think she'll have a load of confidence behind her. And I think she is tactically incredibly sound. She's also, still super young. She's got that sort of sharp kick in her. So I think Katie takes the win. And then I am really unsure.
You'd be better off just putting a lot of names on a dartboard and throwing it.
Literally.
Yeah.
I do agree with you for Erin Wallace, but I think it might go Reve, Laura. I think Erin will be fourth, or like very close. But I just think with the experience of those three, I think what's going to happen is Laura's going to take it out with 800 or 700 to go, like Rich said. And then I think Reve's going to sit in there behind her, Katie as well. And then I think when it comes to the last 200-300, I think Katie's so sharp, she'll slingshot round the bend and take that win. I think Reve will hang on, and I think Laura just not quite closing as strong as she can do, but having all the experience and that grit that she's got will hang on for third. I think that's what I can see happening, and I think Erin could be coming in very, very close. Yeah, that's my shout.
Just another one. Actually, you get your prediction out there first. Sorry, my bad.
The only thing that concerns me with Snowden is the travel back. Will she have travel in her legs?
She's done it so many times.
Well, exactly, yeah.
Down from flag in this in January, she ran. What did she run? Came down and ran 4:21 or something ridiculous in the mile.
Yeah. It was quick. So if she's good with the travel, I would go. I'm going to go Snowden first, Muir second, Nolan third, Wallace fourth. I think Laura Muir hangs on. I think she still nabs a medal in that British Champs. And And yeah, I think we could see her at the Euros.
Nice. I'd love that.
Well,
Right.
actually,
Well,
one other thing. Don't
go
we
on, Cam.
do we get? Oh no, who won the last Euros? It wasn't. It was Kieran McGeehan, wasn't it?
Yeah, no. We
I
don't
I was
get
thinking
the...
maybe we had 4 people, but we don't, do we? We
No.
only have 3 because Kira won it. So my bad.
So next event up, we've got the 3,000 steeplechase. Obviously the standout on paper there by a good way at the moment is Elise Thorner, 907 this season. She's looked great in the Diamond Leagues that I've seen of her. Obviously, in that 9-minute barrier. So yeah, I would definitely, for me, I would definitely be fancying her for the win. I can't see any other outcome in that. Interesting to see that Sarah Tate back from injury. Great to see her lining up again. And I know, Jonesy, you had a bit of a take on a few of the others that were in there as well that were jumping out.
Yeah, actually, I think, well, firstly, obviously, Elise Thorner, I mean, I'll be literally dumbfounded if she doesn't run away from it with it. Sarah Tate, she's back racing. She ran 4:19 at Loughborough last weekend over the 15. Obviously injured last September at Worlds, but I think she wouldn't be racing if she wasn't fit. So I think she's probably in good shape and she'll definitely slang a medal. And then another one that's on my radar is also Stevie Lawrence, obviously based out in America with A6 or something, I think, or Brooks. And she actually ran just outside the Commonwealth standard. I think she's ran 9:41. She's had quite a breakthrough year. She raced the steeple last weekend and actually stacked it, one of the barriers, bless her. But I think she's on for the Commonwealth standard and I think she's in shape to do it. So I think that she could maybe cause a bit of upset and definitely snag one of those sort of minor place medals, 2nd or 3rd. I think it might be her and Sarah battling for a medal. There's also Emily Parker. She's always up there. So yeah, it's definitely going to be those 4, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess with Sarah Tate, what would be interesting is how close she can get to that, or if she can get that Euros qualifying standard, which is 9:28. Obviously, she's clocked 9:18, I think, Scottish record holder. So yeah, I think that's the intrigue around that one. I think Thorner will have it sewn up. But yeah, interesting to see if Sarah Tate can get that Euros standard, and yeah, what a return that would be. We'll move over to the ladies 5,000. Again, another field that is absolutely stacked, this one. You've got the likes of Inez Fitzgerald in there, Megan Keith in there, Hannah Nuttall, India Weir, Melissa Courtney Bryant. We're assuming she's going to be doing the 5,000 metres. Poppy Tank, Hannah Irwin, I mean, Charlotte Denant as well. I'm just going down this list. Carrie Hughes, every one of them you can pick out and be like, God, they're such a recognisable name because they've done X, Y, Z on the country, on the road, and a 5,000 last week at the British 10,000 metre champs. There's so much quality in this one. It's great. And of course, there is Lucy Jones in there as well. Lucy, you know, we have to fling you a bit of love on the pod.
I
Come on.
thought you were going to miss her off there.
No, of course I wouldn't do that to her,
Unbelievable.
Cam.
Oh,
Cam, it's not like when
please.
I'm doing a podcast with you and Parsley. I've got respect for my co-host on this one.
I am of course.
But yeah, so loads of athletes to talk about in this one. Jonesy, I know obviously you're competing as well, so you'll have a good eye on the athletes. But yeah, give me, I know I've gone through the standout names there, but let me know where your headspace is with this one. How you think that podium might shape up.
Do you know what? Oh God, I reckon it's the most stacked 5K champs final that I've seen in bloody ages. Like, to have the likes of Melissa Courtney, Megan Keith, Hannah Nuttall, India, like all in the same race. And then I don't actually think there's much, there's much distance between then the likes of Poppy Tank, who's in brilliant shape and I think has got a lot of confidence behind her. Charlotte Danat is in great shape as well. Verity Ockenden, she's in amazing shape, and then obviously Hannah Irwin. I think that it's going to be an interesting final. I also can't decide whether it's going to be a burn up or whether, the girls are going to sort of decide to take it out and make it tough from the start. But I think that in my mind, knowing the shape that Megan, Keith and Ines are both in at the moment, I think if Ines can execute it slightly better than last year, she will be in contention, like very high contention for a medal. I do think Megan Keith is probably going to snag it. I think she's just like too strong at the moment. She's too confident. She's just unbelievably fit. I think it's likely to go her way. Then you cannot look past, what is it, 7-time British champ Hannah Nuttall, who back-to-back British champ Mike Mayer had, I think it is, who is just an unbelievable out-and-out championship racer.
Yeah.
So, you tell me.
Well, Jonesy, I think one of the things that you did say about maybe getting the race moving, there's an athlete that jumps out at me in this one that might get that race moving early on, and that's Hannah Irwin. We've seen what she's done at British Champs. We've seen what she done at Bud's 5,000. She's an aggressive runner. She gets after it. There's no messing about. So I think maybe getting things moving early on. I don't think Hannah Irwin's going to want to sit around and think, well, let's see what comes of the last 800 metres. I think she'll make it honest. I think she might make it hard from the front. Cameron, any thoughts on, before I dive in with my predictions or thoughts on how it might pan out? Anything you want to add on top of what Lucy's popped out there?
Yeah, I think obviously it very much depends on who takes it on and when it's taken on as well, whether it's a from the gun job. I think it's going to be probably steady for a couple of laps, and then I just think I can't see how somebody like Megan or Inez is just going to wind it up. I think Hannah doesn't need to worry about that. She's quick. She's got an unbelievable kick.
Yeah.
I think Millie Courtney Bryant does not need to worry about that. She's got a great kick as well. And I think, I did say that Millie dropped out of London. I'm not really sure if she's got a niggle or not. Hopefully she's healthy and she's going to be there. But I just think that it will be wound up at some point. And I think when it's done, I think it'll be done quite hard. My prediction would be that I feel like it's going to be Ines Fitzgerald, maybe that sort of hits the front and starts to wind it up, but nothing too shabby. Like just to get it moving, stretch it out a little bit. Then I think Megan Keith's going to hit the front from pretty far out and try and really hit home and try and nail it into people. The problem you've then got is, again, it's very similar to what we were talking about with the 15. It's like you then need to be so much better than everybody else to be able to run away over a period of laps. And she is, but it's a difference when you're doing it from the front on your own. I think that my gut instinct would be Keith, Millie Courtney Bryant, Ines Fitzgerald, and Hannah Nuttall are all there with 150 to go, and I think Nuttall takes a win, closely followed by Courtney Bryant, and then I think Keith in third. It's such a hard shot. Like, there's other names in there as well, right? Like, there's like India Wee's in there. She's in great form. She'll probably be there with 400 to go. I'd be shocked if she's not there unless it's extremely quick. Verity Ockendon's always there. Lucy Jones might win it. Who knows? Hannah Irwin's in great shape. There's so many names. But
it is, isn't it?
Free. Doesn't matter.
Crazy.
You know what? I actually have one thing to say.
What?
I remember last year's 5K, and I think when she came over the line, I could feel that Ines felt as if I could just feel that she felt as if her execution could have been slightly better.
Okay.
I think essentially it was a massive burn up, and I think Ines was in so much better shape than everyone else. And I think what she could have done was taken it out a little bit earlier and sort of dragged it out. So I think we're going to see exactly what you said, is like a little bit more experience this time. And I think she'll drag it out a little bit earlier. And I think then exactly what you've said, we'll have, those 4 or 5, maybe 6 if Hannah Irwin or whatever is hanging on in there with 400 to go or whatnot.
Yeah, I would. I'd agree. I think it is going to come down to them 4, definitely. I do wonder about Nuttall. I know she had a good run out over 3,000 meters, but I feel like she'd alluded to whether there'd maybe been maybe some injury or illness in the build up to it, and she was saying it's good to get the message was it's good to get one back on the board and a positive step in the right direction after a few problems. That only just puts casts a slight bit of doubt in my mind. But I would still fancy Nuttall to get the job done again because of that closing speed. And again, you know, we talk about people that are good racers, and we talk about George Hunterbell being such a good racer. For me, Hannah Nuttall is also an exceptional racer. Got really good race IQ. I watched her run a 3,000 meters indoors in Boston. No, it wasn't Boston. It might have been Milrose. And she, every single step of the way, she just made the moves at all the right times. It was perfect, absolutely perfect. So again, another great racer. I fancy Fitzgerald to pick up second place, and I think we'll see Keith in third. But like you said, it's so interchangeable, so easily interchangeable here. But yeah, another cracking race on the women's side of things there. Absolutely. So we'll move on to the men's, and we'll go men's 800. We'll kick things off with that. No, me and Cameron had, I wouldn't say crosswords, but a slight disagreement prior to this podcast on our predictions with this one. So that being said, Cameron, one thing I will say before we get into it, Teenan Craughton, unfortunately, he isn't running. He dropped us a message saying he won't be at the champs for various reasons. So yeah, no Teenan Craughton in the 800 meters, which is a shame, because I really would have liked to see what he could have got into with that one. So yeah, that being said, Cam, you know, we've got some big names in this one. Jake Whiteman in there, an out-and-out racer. Ben Pattison in there. Jack Higgins, Henry Jonas, Max Burgin, and Alex Botterill, just to name a few. So yeah, Mr. Boyek, I got you. Talk to me about this men's 800 meters.
Well, looks like it's going to be stacked, as you've already said. I think some big names in there. And I think first of all, we can't look past the heats. I think if it's anything like it's been the last few years, you know, first across the post goes through, which essentially means that the heats are like a final, because they're so stacked. You know, there's usually two people who should be in that final in every heat, which makes it incredibly difficult. With that said, and with that, actually, to lead on to the next point is, you know, we have to think about the effects of that going into the final, and you know, who can cope well with the heats and the final. Couple of people who stand out for me. Obviously, the obvious one is Ben Pattison. Also, you know, Max Burgin. That's who we had a bit of a disagreement on. Who's going to win with those two? A bit of a head-to-head potentially, but without trying to write off the rest of the field. We're not. We're just going off current form from what we've seen at this point in the season. And also, you know, you've got Jake Whiteman in there who, I mean, you'll never write Jake off, no matter what the event, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe if it's a marathon, possibly, but, you know, when it's 800 and 1500, he's puts himself in all the right places. He's fast. He's got an unbelievable kick. For me, though, I mean, we were talking, what we said wasn't it? We said about we felt like the top two were possibly going to be Ben Pattison and Max Burgin, right? And
yeah,
you feel like Ben will be able to do Max. And I said the opposite. I don't think so. One thing's for certain, in that final, it's going to be hard from the gun. Burgin isn't going to hang about. What's the point?
Yeah.
Pattison's got a ridiculously good kick. The final 100 meters of every race he does, he always hangs back. The thing for me is that he usually wins. When he won his medal, for instance, at the World Champs, he hung back and then just powered through the last 100. I think what you've got to do is, with Burgin, though, is he doesn't slow down. You've got to have closer order if you want to be able to run him down. And also hope, if you don't, hope he comes back to you. And I just feel like Burgin's in such good shape right now that if he wants to beat him, he has to be on his, at least within touching distance. Going into
Cam, I wouldn't fight you on any single word of that. I agree, and I think that's what I need to see from Pattison this weekend. And I think if he can do that, though, and I think if Pattison can commit and get on the back and go through in that 50-second and just hang on for dear life, I think he can close it out just naturally having that draft, that energy conserve and nature of sitting in second place. You know, he's ran 143.6 this season. That's his season's best. Yes, Pattison. Yes, Burgin's ran 142.98 from the front. But on paper, Ben Pattison is quicker than Max Burgin. His personal best's a few 100s quicker. I'm sorry, I'm just looking there. 143.7 Ben Pattison's ran this season. So I do think it's a very tall order for Ben Pattison. It's easy to say sit on the back of him. Well, he's going through in 50 seconds, mate.
Probably
Like,
fall
we're not
now.
hanging
Yeah,
about
like,
here.
it'll be
Maybe even quicker.
suicidal at first 600.
Yeah, exactly. But I think, I think if Pattison commits and gets on the back, which I have no doubt he will, because he's a gutsy runner. He's a hard runner. He knows what he wants out of this, and he knows what he needs to do. I think he'll sit on them, and it's going to make again a fascinating race. Jonesy, I don't know what your take is on it. If there's anyone else jumping out at you in there, or whether you think it is a bit of a 2-horse race in this one.
No,
Can we write off Whiteman?
Yeah, no, I think, probably a bit savage saying it, but I feel like we probably can write off Whiteman in this instance.
Yeah.
I just think Pattison and Burgin are so far ahead of the field, and I think they've both got brilliant, as you say, racing IQ, particularly Ben Pattison. I don't think I've ever seen him come around the last 200 and not felt completely confident that whatever position he's in at the moment, he'll, do everything right to get 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of those that are around him over that last 150, 100 to go. And I just think he's oozing a lot of confidence. In one respect, I do fully agree with you. I think 142.3 is just it's ridiculous what Max has put down pre-champs, and I think that's going to be really tough for Ben to stick with and hang on. But I really do think Ben's the sort of gritty, really out and out championship racer who will just pop himself in the right position if he can, providing that no one's in his way. And he will hopefully be there with 150 to go, and then we're probably going to see one of the best races at the champs really over that last 150, 100. I think, it's going to be down to minute seconds or milliseconds, but I think Ben snags the win. I don't know why. Just do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think Ben gets the job done just about in that 800. I think the third place though, that's that third spot. Say if we're going with them two as our two predictions. I know Cam thinks it might be Burgin over Pattison. I would fancy Pattison over Burgin, same as you, Jonesy. I think that third place spot is so intriguing because there's a lot of athletes that are coming into good form at the right time. Alex Botterill for Ron, 144.1 personal best at the weekend. Botterill was in the mix last season at the champs. You can't write off him. He's just coming off the back of a big personal best, 144.1. Confidence is going to be high. He's got a great mentor in Crammy as well. So you'd imagine the psychological side of things, not that any of the others are going to be, wavering with this, but that mindset, just having that voice in your head, knowing, well, they've gone through this, that's going to be of great confidence to him. And then you've got Whiteman in there, a pure racer, an out-and-out racer. Does it when, the odds are really stacked up against him. He's like a bloody moth to a flame finding that finish line, Jake Whiteman. He'll do it quicker than most people down the home straight. So, again, you cannot write him off in this at all. So I'll go, Cam, I'll go to you then. You may be bringing someone else into the equation here because you've still got your likes of your Callum Dodds in there as well. Your Jack Higgins, British indoor 1500 metre champ with a 145 800 metre personal best as well, and the season's best this year. Is there anyone else in there that you would think is going to nab that third place spot?
Yeah, Callum Dodds, I think he'll be there or thereabouts. Whether or not he gets in the top 3 or not, I don't know. I think he'll have to step it up a little bit. He's got a good mentor as well, Matt Yates, coaching him.
Yes, he does.
With athletes over the years. Obviously, Teenan's out. I just think Bottrell's in exceptionally good shape. That 144 was a few days after running in Marseille. A lot of travel in between there as well. I actually roomed with him in Marseille, and he did say he was in really good shape. He's shooting for pretty high, something pretty good this season, I think. And like I say, I think one of the reasons I think Bottrell is going to be in the top 3. This is again, assuming he gets through the heats, anything can happen. We've seen so many shockers over the years with the 800. Is his strength, and I know the kind of workouts that he's been doing. That he's told me a lot of it's typical Steve Cram style workouts with it's a lot of strength in the winter. I think we've seen that actually ultimately had a bit of a detrimental effect in the indoors. He didn't perform to the way that he wanted to indoors because he was still going through a huge strength block and he wasn't doing speed. But now he's starting to tap into that. He's going to cope well with the rounds. So I think he's going to be strong enough to cope well with the rounds. I think that he's in shape to go completely in shape to go 143 in the right race if he gets it right on the day. Who knows? Maybe quicker. Whiteman, I just always like to back him because he's one of the. Do you know what it is? There's some runners where you watch, right, where you go, you just always have confidence that they're going to do well, and like Whiteman's one of them. Like Kerr's another one now that you always think. Kerr probably in like 21, 22 was always there or thereabouts. He would have a blinder, but some days would be not quite what he wanted. Wyman, though, he's just always there, isn't he? Like he's just, you watch him and you think he's going to do something here. So like, I want to say he's in the top 3, but like these guys are just out and out 800 meter guys, and I don't really know where Jake is in his training and stuff, whether he's training for the 800 or not. So I'm going to go Bottrell for a top 3 alongside Pattison and Burgin.
Yeah. I'm with you on that, Cam. My top 3 will be Pattison, Burgin, and Bottrell. Jonesy, you?
I was going to say exactly the same.
So I think we're across the board with that top 3, just in slightly different orders. Again, an absolute banger of an 800. I can't wait to watch this at the weekend. We'll move on to the men's 1500 then. Again, there's so many storylines in this one. I've written them down, and I'll let you guys lead on the names that jump out to you. But I've written storylines at the bottom. Hayward's return, the fairy tale continues. Will it go at the form book? Giles versus Archie Davis, or will the surprise package, the wild card for me for a medal? Will Arlo Ludwig get the job done? So, guys, there's a bit of food for thought for you. So Jonesy or Boyak, who wants to take the lead on this one out of you two?
Jonesy, you can go Jonesy. I'll let you do it because I feel like I'm talking too much.
Cam, it's a podcast, mate. That's what we want.
Do you know what? I don't have loads to say about many of them, but I do have a lot to say about Arlo. I think he is in unbelievable form. I think he's won every single race he's run since the start of the season. He has the patience of a saint. And all, like, I've been watching him race, and I just think, like, same as Hannah, that race IQ has just been absolutely immaculate. And I'm not saying I necessarily think he'll win, but I think he'll be bloody close, and I think he'll be really, really up there in contention for a medal, or like right in that top few. I mean, he's super young. I think he only started to concentrate on running a couple of years ago, so I think he's got an unbelievable career ahead of him. But just judging by the progression that I've seen over the last few months and the way that he's been attacking the races this year, and just purely the confidence that he's got behind him, you can see it. Like, he's stood on that start line and no one's going to beat him. So, yeah, I think he's actually in my top few. My top very small hand few, I reckon.
Yeah, he's definitely caught my attention on the circuit. Again, hasn't got the quickest time on paper this season going into this one by a long shot. And I agree. I don't think he'll win it, but I definitely think he could sneak a medal. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was the one that grabbed the bronze down the home straight, coming from like 8th or 9th, and just catching runners that have committed to it and gone for it and maybe just overcooked it. I do fancy Ludwig to certainly make an impression if he can get through to the final, which is not going to be an easy task. But Cameron, I know obviously you're likely to be competing in this as well. So you'll have a good eye on some of these runners. A few names that you about me: Archie Davis, 3:33 at the weekend. So the form is coming at the right time for Archie Davis, and he's progressed steadily throughout the season as well with his 1500s, 3:34, 3:35-ish, then drops this 3:33 at the weekend. So positive signs from him going into this. Adam Fogg rounded into reasonable form of 3:35 from him. Then you got Elliot Giles, 3:33 and a 1:46 at the weekend, so he's sharpening the tools over 800 metres. Neil Gawley returning to action from injury. No Neil Gawley, he'll probably go out and win it. He seems to have a nasty habit of getting injured and then coming out and having a blinder. I don't know how he does it. But yeah, Neil Gawley's always a shout. And then Jake Hayward, again, you know, the comeback story of that from double Achilles surgery, getting back down to low 334s this season. Cam, the list is endless. You've got Tom Keane in this as well, James McMurray. You know, a question mark. George Mills is accepted in the 1500. Yeah, so Cam, I've just rattled off a lot of names a lot of times and a few little dodgy opinions in there. So what's jumping out at you?
So, like you just said, like I think that this is one of the most stacked fields that I've seen in a long time for the 15.
Yeah.
I think that it is always, you know, like it is always fine margins to get into the final for the men's 1500. This year in particular, I think there's so many guys on like a similar level that it's like
that's it.
It's there's no real standouts at this moment in time in this field.
Yeah,
like
this is very similar to the women's 1500.
Well, actually, I tell you a lie. There is one standout for me at the moment, and I think, and this is just off recent form, is Jake Hayward. I think he's in phenomenal form. I think he's dropped to 334. He ran in Stockholm. It didn't quite go his way for probably a couple of reasons. One of the reasons, inside information, he did have stomach issues on the day of the the Diamond League he ran in. Still banged out a 334. Also went off exceptionally hard in his first 100.
He did. He really committed to that. Yeah.
But I think that was probably just a reflection on the shape he was in, and obviously then stomach issues probably didn't help. You know, I've been there myself. Like, I mean, most people have. You know, if your bowels aren't working effectively and you're not absorbing the salts and nutrients, it's a recipe for disaster. So I think for me, he's a real standout. He's also coming down from St. Moritz. He's been at altitude for months now. I think he's going to be in serious contention for the win. But again, then it's like, who's going to make the final? It's like, you've got Carrick's making a return. He hasn't raced yet. I don't even know if he's going to race. He's down. He's accepted. He's always dangerous in a slow race. You've got, you know, Archie Davis, like you've already said, phenomenal form, 333. Is he peaking at the right time? Probably. I think it looks that way. He's been consistent. It's not just a one-off race. He's in great form. You've got Elson's running 800 meter PB the other night, 148.
Yes.
He's starting to come back into form. I spoke to him. I'm sure he was, from what I understand, he was fairly disappointed with the last season, which is fair enough. But he was coming back last year, the year after having pretty much a career-ending injury, right? His Achilles was torn to pieces. Then you've got, Fogg ran 335 the other night. He's something we need to talk about, to be honest with you, if he wants to get the most out of himself. You've got Elliot Giles in there, always going to be there or thereabouts. I would probably put him on a podium position, to be honest with you, not just because I think in particular with these races, and in particular from what I've seen with the men's 1500 over the years, they're always run very similarly. And it's always about, you know, who's putting themselves in the right place at the right time. You know, who's not getting involved in the argy-bargy and wasting energy, pushing and shoving and all the rest of it. He's usually pretty good with that. Gawley, top, even though he's only been back running for 5 or 6 weeks now. Still ran decent the other night, and I've seen him come back running, 6 weeks in after a long-term injury and banging out like a sub 350 mile. So again, he always pulls something out the bag. And if anyone in that field is a master tactician, it's him. You know, I think he's got the best racing brain in a domestic field I've seen in a long time. I don't think, I think he's going to be there or thereabouts. If he'll put himself in the right position, it's just down to his fitness. His main goal is Commonwealth Games at the minute, though, so he'll be in for that. So I don't know whether he's training through the champs or not. I don't know. The Higgins brothers, again, I mean, we're listing off quite a few names here, but the Higgins brothers, again, great form. There or thereabouts, I think, for making the final. I would expect them both to, if they're both there. I think they've both got the potential to be in the final. Tom Keane's in good form. Arlo's definitely one that I think, I personally would say that is a big danger. And I think that it's because he finishes like a train. He's got great strength. I watched his race open. It was when he opened up. I don't know if it was his second race of the season or what, but when he ran at Trafford BMC. Man, that guy's going to go quicker than 337. That's a fact. As long as he, I don't mind. As long as he holds his form throughout the season, he's going to most certainly do it. McCluckey's in there, but he again is going to be similar to what Fogg. Well, I'm going to come on to with Fogg. He's in good form. He won in 337 the other night in was it Finland, I think.
Yes.
some big
Yeah.
names there. McMurray, again, great form. I've seen some of his training, actually, had a little sneak peek, and he's in very good form. Very, very strong. Under the eyes of Andy Hobdell, who's, one of the most experienced 1500 meter runners that Britain's ever had. Millsy, though, I don't know if he'll be there because he had an issue, didn't he, with his 5,000 meters that he was supposed to be doing. He didn't open up, did he?
Yeah, he didn't. He was meant to be competing in the Diamond League and then didn't. So yeah, I have question marks whether Mills will run. If he does run as well, I don't think he'd fancy this 1500 to open the season up with.
Right, and again, we love the speculation on this podcast, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just wonder because I've seen that he's no longer in Santa Rita. He's been at sea level in Mallorca. I think it's Mallorca. Quote me on that. Somewhere like that. Like, it's not like him to be down at sea level at this time of the year. That suggests, is there an illness or an injury there that's set him back and he's gone down there for it to heal quicker? I don't know. If he's there, I mean, he won't turn up unless he's in good form. So if he shows up on the line, you'd expect him to be running well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for what I said. Obviously, Cameron Boyek as well. I mean, he's just an absolute animal. So we'll put him in there.
So Cameron Boyek's going to take the win, yeah?
Yeah, I reckon he's number one for sure. I think no, Tyler Billiard as well. He's always great in a tactical race. But like, just getting on to what I was going to say about Fogg, like last year, I mean, he was in my heat last year, and I think he's so good at like winding it up, right, or running it a really like at a decent lick and holding it, and he's got such a long bouncy stride. Like, I just think if he wants to like get through the heats, right, never mind the final, he needs to like put something down on paper in the first 800 and get it moving. And I think the mistake he made last year, because I was in his heat, was that he did hit the front, but he didn't do enough. Like, he ran like a 62. And even I got to 500 to go and thought, nah, this is too slow. Like, you need to wind it up quicker. So I hit the front. And he got knocked out. And I think that if he's actually just has the confidence to go to the front, I think he's going to put himself in with a real shout of being in that top 5. And then I think as well, like McCluskey, I think he's very dangerous in the fast race. He's got good speed as well, to be fair, Henry. But when it comes to like a fast race or even a race that's moving at sort of 60 seconds per lap there, so nothing too fast, but still going at a decent lick, I think he could put himself in a great position as well. But there's so many names, isn't there? Like, we could honestly be on this all day.
Yeah, I know, and yeah, it's like I liken it to the women's the fact that you haven't got the 327, 328 performer in there that's leagues above it, but what you've got is this whole deluge of athletes between anywhere from 333, 332-ish on season's best up to 337 that you can make a case for being involved in a championship race as well. And I think when we're predicting these things, people that listen to the pod need to remember we're likening this to the environment that it's going to be at the weekend, which is the British Champs, which is very different from, say, a flat-out BMC or a Diamond League race. So, Cam, that being said then, I'm going to give you my top 3, mate, and then you and Jonesy can dive in with your predictions. I'm going Jake Hayward for the win. I think, like you said, the quality and the form is there, and I think there was just a blip at the Diamond League the other week. And if you're having a blip and running 335, well, then that's pretty good for me. And I think Elliot Giles will pick up second place as well. Just experience, knows his way around the block, certainly does. And I think he's in reasonable shape as well. And I fancy, I'm going the wild card. I'm going Arlo Ludwig to pick up a bronze medal in this one. Like I said, he's going to nab some athletes down that home straight that have maybe committed and gone with it and just blown up slightly. So there you go, guys. There's my top 3. Feast on that one.
Excuse me, you just nicked mine.
Oh, sorry, Jonesy.
I was going to go Gawley for the win and Ludwig for bronze. I'm honestly not sure about silver. I feel like it could be anyone. It could be, Archie. It could be Hayward. It could really be any of them. I'll go with Archie Davis because he's in good form. So Gawley, Davis, Ludwig, I think.
I think that's a good shout, actually. I want to say, like, on form, I want to put Archie in the top 3, to be fair. However, it's not, like I say, it's not about, I think in this event in the championships. Usually it's just about positioning and stuff as well. And I think that I just think I can't not back Gawley here. I think Hayward can take the win if he puts himself in the right positions. I think if it's slow, okay. So I'm not going to sit on the fence. Right, I'll put Hayward first, and then I'm going to put Gawley in second. I'm going to put Giles third. And I think Arlo Ludwig has got the ability to come in the top 5. But I also think another name that I'm very much interested in is McMurray. I think that like that opening race, 3:34.9, was it 3:34.9?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I thought that was phenomenal. So yeah, I feel like I fancy him as well in the top 5.
So we've got 2 more events to box off. The men's steeplechase. We won't spend too long on this one. Just conscious of time on the pod. We've got one athlete in there who does have the European standard, which is 8:20, and that's Zach Seddon from last year. He clocked his 8:15 personal best last year. A fantastic return to shape for Zach Seddon there. Going in this one's with a season's best of 8:29. Quickest in the field is Christian Imroth, 8:20 at the end of May in America. He's our UK lead. And then you've got the likes of Will Pattison in there, 8:29 season's best. Mark Pierce in there as well, 8:26 season's best. Both Pierce and Pattison, both coached by Luke Gunn. It could be one of them ones where we do see a lot of the athletes just get after it and try and get under that 8:20 mark. You often see them have a dig at this at the championships, at the British champs, because the opportunities to run 3K steeples aren't as freely available as say going and diving into a 1500. So that could definitely be an interesting one to watch unfold. And finally, we'll move on to that men's 5,000 meters. Again, a lot of quality in this one, but I think we should keep this one focused on some of the real standout names in it. Your likes of your Scott Beattie, and your Andy Butchart, Jacob Kahn, question marks over George Mills. Of course, David Malarkey in there, UK lead, 13:09. And Joseph Tuffin in there. James West, he's returning to form. And I've noticed Joe Wigfield is down as well, British 10,000 meter champ. So what are we thinking with this one then, guys? Obviously, I've just named a few of the standout names in this one. But yeah, anyone jumping out, or how are we thinking this one might play out?
I'll let you go ahead, Cam.
I'm fine. For me, I think I'd like to see Wiggins in there. To be fair, I think he's got good potential to podium. But I think, in my eyes, 2 standouts. First one, Scott Beattie, coming off some great form from his 10K. Took him a little while to recover from that. Like he told me after he ran that 10K in LA, he said that he couldn't walk properly for a week because his calves were in bits. Just shows the difference, doesn't it? Like, I mean, you've done 10K on track this year, Jonesy, so I'm sure you can relate, but I haven't. So 5K was enough. But yeah, no, I think I think Beattie in there, and I think also as well, you've got the man in form, David Malarkey as well. Malarkey's in unbelievable form. I don't even know if he's making the journey over. I can only assume he is, because I think you have to run the trial if you're going to be considered, unless you've got a medical exemption. So
Yeah.
Euros. So I think he will make the journey over. 3K. It was a 3K last weekend he ran.
Yeah.
Ran really well. So good form. I think it's going to be a case of that. I think it'll be slow, and I think that probably someone like Malarkey or Scott Beattie is going to drop a really hard sort of 61 second lap in the middle of that to break the field up, and then just probably roll around after that for a few more laps and hope people drop off. But you've also got James Kingston in there. You've got Jack Kavanagh as well. He's always a reliable bet as well, I think. Don't know if you guys agree or disagree.
What's the story with what event is Joe Wigfield running?
I don't
I
know.
know he's
He's
accepted
he-
5K.
he's accepted in a couple of events. I think he's accepted in the 15 and in the 5,000. I think if he is racing, he'll be racing. I'd imagine the 5,000, given his exploits over the longer distances recently, and that maybe shift in training. But with someone like Joe Wigfield, you wouldn't be surprised if you seen him lining up in the 15. But yeah, I'd imagine probably the 5K for Wigfield. I think this one is going to be interesting, and I think from the point of view of David Malarkey coming into this one, 13:09, strong athlete, 7:38 over 3,000 as well, like Cam mentioned there. So there's a sharpness there. Again, it comes down to this: how do you win this type of race, though? When you've got someone like Scott Beattie, that's the one that jumps out to me that can run Malarkey hard or close to the line. So then it's Malarkey has to make these decisions. Well, how do I get rid of Scott Beattie? Because Beattie's no slouch over 1,500, and he's got a 3:38 season's best as well. And I think he's probably worth a bit more than that. So that's going to be an intriguing battle there. Obviously, you've got Andy Butchart in there, 13:32, coming back into some reasonable form over 5,000 metres on the track. And I don't think it clicked for the weekend when he clocked one. Again, where does he sit in this type of race? Does he have the gears to have a burn up with the likes of Malarkey and Beattie over the last 400 to 800 metres like he maybe did once upon a time? I don't think he does. But you never know in this sport how it's going to play out, how the race is going to pan out. One for me, who I think could potentially get slept on a bit to get on the podium, is Jacob Kahn. He looked very, very good at Bud's Fast 5,000, around 13:29 there. Done a lot of that work on the front himself. So yeah, I think Jacob Kahn could be up there. Guys, we won't dwell on this one too long because we've done British champs to death here. But what we'll do is I will get a prediction from both of you on this, how we think this 5,000 is going to pan out and who we're sticking in that top spot, second place and third.
Ooh.
Go on.
Boyak, do you want to go first?
Oh, no, right, whatever. Yeah, right. I'm just gonna go. I don't want to sleep on either one of Beattie or Malarkey. I think they're going to be top two. I think it's going to come down to the final 100 meters, to be honest. And I think it's going to be about who's in the best form on the day. So I think I can't put my finger on it, but I think just one of those two in the final 100 are going to be neck and neck. And then I think third place, I think is a good shout from there. I think Jacob Kahn is in great form, and he's got good speeds as well. Which is I learned recently that doesn't mean a lot sometimes in the 5,000, but maybe it does in the championship. So I'm going to put Kahn up there as well.
Jonesy?
I'm going to go Beattie first, just because I think that he's got that speed. I think he's a very smart racer. I think he's been in great form over the last few months. And I think if he's got a sniff of the win, 800 out, he'll be, there or thereabouts. And he'll have practiced that. He'll have practiced his close. And I think it will just be, getting the execution right on the day for him. And then I think I'd go probably Malarkey. And then I'm going to pick Wigfield third, I think, for a medal. I think, we'll go with a bit of a random one. One that I think
it's not it's not a bad
right.
shout, Jonesy. It's not a bad shout at all. 13:37 on the road, 1:46, 3:36 man. And he's, been packing that endurance away as well. So yeah, I don't think it'd be an unreasonable shout. Again, I'm with both of you. I think it's going to come down to Malarkey and Beattie on the day. I've just got a hunch that Beattie's gonna get the job done. I don't know why, because they're both very close, and on paper, Malarkey is in slightly better form, given he's ran that 13:09 this season. But yeah, I just think it's championship race, and I think Beattie can close. He really, really can close that last 100 meters. So yeah, I'd fancy Beattie to maybe get it over the line just in front of Malarkey. And yeah, I'll stick with Jacob Kahn in third place.
Just one.
So yeah, guys, go on, Cam. What were you going to say?
We slept on. I completely didn't realize that he'd accepted his invite. James West.
Yeah,
Yeah.
James West is in there. Yeah, I did mention James West. I just think the only thing with Westy is obviously coming back from injury. I know he ran 13:42. I don't think this is going to be a strong tempoed race from the off, and I think your fitness can be exposed, say when it comes down to say a 2K burn up. So I'm not saying he isn't going to feature, but I'd be very surprised if James West made the podium. But what I will say is, I think give it a few months' time, he's certainly going to be back at the fore of British distance running because he's a phenomenal talent, is James West.
Yeah, yeah. He'll be there. If it's slow, then he'll be there 100%. But again, it's just question marks, I guess, over his fitness.
All right. I think that was a bit of a cracking roundup, to be honest, on our part, if I do say so myself.
How long did he say to me? Did he say like 45 minutes, did you say to me?
Yeah, we knew it'd be a bit longer with it being British champs, but we've got into it, yeah.
A lot of enthusiasm, a lot of chat going on. Bumper, British champs preview, tick. All right. Thank you so much, Cameron and Rich, for coming on. It was great. A great evening of chatting all things British champs. If you liked what you heard and want to get involved, please like and subscribe, share, give us a follow, whatnot. We really appreciate the support. We will be hopefully posting a post champs review next week, so be sure to tune in. And until then, enjoy your week. See you at British Champs.